Welcome back. Today we welcome a very special guest to the stage, Dean Tayloe Harding, the current Dean of the School of Music here at South Carolina. Welcome.
I'm delighted to be here.
We're happy to have you here.
Thanks.
So first we want to discuss, obviously we have our Carolina band going to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year, which is a big deal. We've talked about it before on the show. Not a lot of schools get to go, and it's a very big deal for our school to be selected. So if you could just talk a little bit about how we got our band to Macy's in the first place.
So our band directors sent off some tapes. I guess it would have been about 18 months ago now. And we don't do that every year. There was a particularly good year in the fall of 22, and we felt really good about the recordings that we had. And so our band directors, three really extraordinary faculty members, put some tapes together, sent them off to the folks that produced the parade, and we were selected. And they do a handful of bands every year, and that selection process was for a year and a half out. So we knew 6 months before anybody else on campus knew. That was a very hard secret to keep. We didn't even tell the president or any of the officials.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we needed to announce it all at a football game at the beginning of the 23 season. And as a result, that 6 months before that we knew we had been selected was a matter of putting together all sorts of administration that we needed to pull the trip off, start the fundraising, even though we hadn't actually begun all of that. We put in place all of the websites and all of the personnel and all of that. So it's been a very big deal. Yeah.
Speaking of funding, the Carolina band is facing a funding issue. As of last week, the band was over $200,000 short of their goal to get to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So could you talk a little about maybe why you think there is a funding issue?
So there isn't a funding issue. This is a common misconception that I've been working really hard over the last 2 weeks to address wherever I can, and that is that crowdfunding site where everyone's getting their information about how much money has been raised and what the goal is only includes cash gifts. It doesn't include any of the pledges that we've had from all sorts of different people that we'll add to that number. So the fact is the band is very close to its goal. In fact, we could be shutting down fundraising right now, but we don't want to because there are a lot of individuals, parents still, families, fans of the band who want to be a part of the parade by giving money. So we leave the crowdfunding site up, even though most of the money has been raised already, both in cash gifts and in pledges. The real issue is that a lot of folks see that and they think that because we're getting close to the parade, only a few weeks out, that there's some danger about having enough money to make the parade. And the fact remains, the trip is assured, all of the dollars we have to pay to make sure we can go on the trip have been paid, and the rest of the bills we can pay all year long because that's how the band budget works. We spend money throughout the year, and then the budget gets loaded in at the end of the year and relieves all of the bills. So there really isn't a funding issue, and I'm really glad, Chloe, that you asked me about it so that I could set that record straight.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the university itself has not donated to the Carolina band. What do you think about that? What do you have to say about that?
Well, so that's not really true either, because part of the pledge at the end is the university. And this is the way I articulated this whole funding plan from the beginning, was that I wanted our development staff to give all of the people who love this band a chance to make donations to the band. And then once that was in, we would know about what we needed to finish off the fundraising, and then I would have a conversation with the university. Most bands that go to Macy's don't do it that way. They count on big gifts from their university or their athletics or their foundation so that they have to do less fundraising. And that is not the way we wanted to do it, because that shuts out local businesses that want to be sponsors, or parents that want to give $1,500 so that they can sponsor their own kid, or a really wealthy family who wants to sponsor the whole section that their kid plays in. It was very important to us to start that fundraising up front and then work really hard. And as a result, and this is a very important fact, I think the University of South Carolina Carolina Band fundraising effort has raised more money from development, actual philanthropic gifts, than any band that's ever been to Macy's. Because the other ones count on their university, count on athletics, count on their foundation, and we've done that a little bit differently.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the show and talking with us today and clearing up some of the issues, maybe misconceptions about the Carolina Band and going to the Macy's. Best of luck to the
Thank you.
band and
Yeah.
to you. Congratulations.